Well, alright everyone, I'm making my way to Nairobi West Shopping Center. It is some 20 meters from here. And by the look of things, and by the name itself, you already know that you are in the city. Yes, Nairobi City to be specific. It is only 3 kilometers from here. I don't think there's another suburb that is so close to the city than Nairobi West. It is just a small neighborhood of 35,156 people, sitting on an area of 6.2 kilometers squared. Well, there's only one thing that is peculiar about the numbers, and that is Nairobi West is home of women. And to understand how crazy this thing is, I've never found an area with such a huge gender gap in my entire career as a lone traveler. I'll be giving you the exact number in a few, and as usual, I want to take you around the estate and see how the people live. We also want to see how businesses are faring. I also have a lot of statistics regarding the ethnicity composition of the dwellers in the area, the cost of living, age distribution, rental prices, everything. But before then, let me take this opportunity to welcome you to our YouTube channel, Village to Town TV, a channel that is dedicated to continue showcasing beautiful villages, towns, and cities across the continent of Africa. I go by the name Mr. Lone Traveler, and make sure you subscribe, like the video, and say something about Nairobi West on the comment section. Tell us, what do you know about the place? Have you been here? And what are your expectations about this beautiful neighborhood? So let's do this. I want to turn right. I want to get to the heart of the shopping center. If you are keen enough, I'm sure you noted that I just went around the place. But this is the original shopping center, and it was founded in the 1950s by the then colonial government. And for decades, it has grown tremendously. And so expect to see some very old buildings. You know, originally the place was designed as a middle-class estate with bungalows and a very small shopping center just to serve the people around. But this has changed significantly. You can see that modernity is trying to catch up. In fact, the only place in the estate that has maintained the rustic look is around the shopping center. You can take a quick look on my right and see that nothing much has changed, as the place is still giving an old town vibe. But if you check around the estate, you can see that modern apartments are coming up. I can see it is a very busy place. Of course, I expected that. It is on a Sunday, October 2025. It's a beautiful day out here. I can see the small town has Naivas. This is one of the biggest supermarkets in the country. There's a lot of fruit vendors all over. This must be one of the healthiest neighborhoods. You can see the supermarket on my left. It's a big one. And being on a Sunday afternoon, the parking is already full. What a busy town. There is more of an open-air market on my left. There's another one here on my right. While across the road, I can see a fried chicken outlet. What an all-rounded town. It seems that if you are a junkie person, you are catered for. And on the other hand, if you are a vegetarian, there's a lot of fruit and vegetable vendors in town. I can also spot an alcohol joint right across the road. And this one is a wholesale distributor. And true to my words, every consumer in town is well catered for. It is on a Sunday and you have a traffic snarl up here. What a place. I want to turn on my right. There's another street here that goes on the other side of the shopping center. And I tell you what, I can smell a lot of food from this side. Just wait and see. A lot of fishmongers here. There's so much fish in town. There's a kibandaski here on my left selling nothing but cooked tilapia fish. It is the most common fish in Africa and the Middle East. I don't know whether you knew that. That's a quick fun fact. Another small fresh products market here. I can also see a lot of smoke right in front. Something must be cooking. I think the town is very friendly to family outings. Well, I don't know whether you have noted this, but there are 4 mini bars next to each other on my left. I'm sure you can see the yellow shade. Those are 4 mini clubs. The business of alcohol must be something here. I can see the first one is going by the name Azizi Pub. The second one, Mini Pub. After that, you have Marlins, such a beautiful name. And the last one, I don't know whether you can read, Black Oak. I have also noted that there's a lot of barbecue in town. Just take a look on my right. The scene looks like a sacrificial altar. Not one, not two. I can see a lot of goat heads. And mind you, have passed 3 or 4 guys preparing jiko for barbecues. Still on this street. There's another mini hotel on my left. You can see the red tent across the road. This must be a foodie neighborhood. And from the look of things, kichwa ya mbuzi and soup are the ending here. Also, don't forget about the alcohol. We've been to drinking zones, but I've never seen 4 bars next to each other. By the way, what is the difference between a club, a bar, and a pub? Don't mind me, I need some schooling. I'm a church dude. The place looks so good. It is super nice. I like almost everything. But one thing that really caught my attention about this place is on gender distribution. So get this. Out of the 35,000 people living here, only 16,001 are men, while 19,161 are females. That means that there are more than 3,000 females than males in this small neighborhood. In terms of the percentage, it means that only 45.9% are males, while the majority, 54.1%, are females. I think that's why there's a lot of alcohol joints in town. That goes without saying. We have also noted there's a lot of street meat bases, such as mitura, goat head, soups. There are quite plenty in town. Well, I don't know whether there's a biological reason, but in Africa, alcohol is more associated with men. Although we can't be blind to the fact that some women, especially the educated and the modern one, have no issues with taking alcohol. But the number of male drinkers in Africa is quite high, especially when compared to their female counterparts. And so could be the high number of alcohol joints in town have a direct effect on the low number of men in town. Just a thought, don't overthink about it. One interesting thing I've noted about gender distribution in most estates in Nairobi is that most middle-class neighborhoods in the city have more women than men. You can name them: Buruburu, Donholm, South B, and now we have Nairobi West. All of them have more females, and the gap is so huge, more than 10%. On the other hand, the low-income neighborhoods have more men than women. In fact, for all the slums that we have visited, they have a male majority. So right in front is Langata Road, and I just turned around. If I continued that way, I could have just exited the neighborhood, and I want to take you to the inner part of the estate, and so I had to go back. Well, Langata Road is the road that connects Mombasa Road and some estates in Nairobi, such as Langata, Karen, Ongata Rongai. The road can also take you to Nairobi National Park. I'm just giving you a glimpse of where I'm at. It is also good to note that Uhuru Garden, where the Union Jack was dismissed and the first Kenyan flag was mounted, it is in the neighborhood. Also, the Wilson Airport is nearby. And so you can see that there's a lot of social amenities in the neighborhood. For instance, the famous Nyayo Stadium is just a walking distance from here. It is the second biggest stadium in the country, and can host multiple games. For instance, I'm told it has a swimming pool that is a 50 by 25. It also has a soccer pitch, a handball game pitch, and an indoor gymnasium where people can practice martial arts and other related sports. And so you can see how privileged this neighborhood is. So I want to take you to the old original Nairobi West Estate. And through it, I'm sure you'll see the original city plan on the estate. So initially the neighborhood had masonette and bungalows, although that has changed significantly in recent times. There's a lot of high-rise buildings coming up, thanks to the increasing number of residents in the city and the high numbers of investors who are willing to invest in the real estate. And while at it, let's check the real estate segment. So as I told you, Nairobi West has all kinds of residential units such as single rooms, bed sitters, one bedroom, two bedroom, three bedroom apartments. And all of these are either for sale or for rent. And remember I told you that it is only 3 kilometers from here to the city center. And so you can imagine the demand of this place. And as I told you, most houses here are masonettes and they are in gated communities. I'm sure you can see them around. As usual, I had checked the prices before coming here. And one thing that really caught my attention is that apartments in Nairobi area or in Nairobi West are quite pricey, especially when compared to other estates in the city. Of course, the distance from the CBD has everything to do with this. For instance, an average bed sitter was going for between 12,000 and 17,000 Kenya shillings, and that was depending on the location, size, architecture, and the amenities offered. You know, in most estates, an average bed sitter will go for between 6,000 and 10,000 Kenya shillings. You can see how pricey the place is. A number of one-bedroom apartments were also available in the estate, and they were going for between 15,000 and 25,000 Kenya shillings. For two bedrooms apartment, the price range was between 28,000 and 65,000 Kenya shillings, while the three bedroom masonettes were going for between 35,000 and 65,000 Kenya shillings. Another major factor that I realized that it was affecting the rent prices in big time. It was the closeness to Mombasa Road. Yes, the more a house was close to Mombasa Road, the more expensive it was, and vice versa. Well, a good number of houses here are up for sales. So most of these houses are going for between 8 million and 35 million Kenya shillings. For instance, the masonette, which of course are the dominant type of houses here, the cheapest was going for 12 million Kenya shillings, and the most expensive I saw was going for 35 million Kenya shillings. So this is of course depending on the size, the architecture, the age. You know, some houses here are quite old. The distance from the main road, that is Mombasa Road, and also the numbers of bedrooms. I also saw one bedroom apartment going for 6 million Kenya shillings. Well, let me leave it at that, but please continue watching the scenic video until the end, and make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Village to Town TV, a channel that is dedicated to continue showcasing beautiful villages, towns, and cities across the continent of Africa. That was Nairobi West for you. Make sure you like the video so that it can be recommended to as many people as possible. Smash the notification bell so that every time we post, you will be among the first few people to be notified. Also, keep the conversation going. Tell us what do you think about Nairobi West, and what do you know about the neighborhood? Will you consider living here? Yeah, just share your thoughts. And if you come from this neighborhood, share a fact or two about your neighborhood, and we'll appreciate. Thank you.